I've bent the trunk of this tree over to the right side so that it will grow on here and help thicken the lower section of the tree, but I will have to completely remove it because all of this portion is not part of the final design of the tree. This is technical depth. Hello, my name is David, and you're watching a series where I'm talking about software development while working on my bonsai trees and pre-bonsai. This is one of several trees I have that I want to grow into a group planting later, but first I want to thicken their trunks, and for that they are in those pond baskets, and I have styled them in a way so that they grow thicker more quickly. And one of the techniques one can use to thicken a part of the trunk is by using sacrificial branches or sacrificial trunks. What do we mean by that? We let one branch or a part of the trunk grow wild, grow out unchecked, which will thicken this part of the trunk and everything below. And here I did this with the main trunk line of the tree, but I bent it to some side so that this section here, which was a side branch before, will later become the new leader and the new trunk line of the tree. What I have here is my sacrificial trunk, which I have to take care of until I don't need it anymore. So I will have to keep it healthy, I will have to nurture it, I will have to cut it, wire it, until the point where I don't need it anymore. And I've said this is technical depth. So this is comparable to technical depth in software development. What do I mean by that? Originally, the term technical depth meant some part of the design that we add where we knew that it would not be in the final design, but that we added for some reason. The reason mostly being getting better feedback faster. Nowadays, we're using the term technical depth for all kinds of bad code, but originally it was really a deliberate choice. Or we could also say nowadays we have two kinds of bad code that we could consider technical depth, one of them being a deliberate choice. We implement something in a more simple way than necessary to get feedback faster, and the unintentional technical depth that we created out of not knowing better or out of laziness. In this case, this branch is intentional technical depth, so it is there to thicken the trunk below. And now I'm unwiring it because the wire is already biting in, and I'm also removing some of the foliage here because, just like other technical depth, this branch can also have negative consequences for parts of the tree that I want to keep, like this foliage up here is shading the branches below and inhibiting their growth. So I'm removing some of it here, but not too much, because I want this branch to thicken quickly. So I want some vigorous growth here. This is a balancing act, and all of that done with a branch that I won't need in the long run. But it's necessary to thicken the trunk more quickly. When you're talking about technical depth, are you making a difference between technical depth that you intentionally added for some reason, for example, to get feedback faster, and unintentional technical depth that is there because you neglected the design or because you didn't know better? Do you treat them differently? Should we treat them differently? Please tell me in the comments, and I'll see you next time when I work on a different tree and talk about a different topic.